Hey y'all, just getting home and want to do a quick little video of a common question and something that maybe could help some anyone that's considering getting a kind of Corso. These are my two kind of Corso. This Ozzy, big man Ozzy. He's my 150-pound gray brindle male, and then I have Dolce. She's about 110 pounds. Ozzy's approaching 4 years. Dolce is just over 2 years. She's my female. So I want to give you 5 reasons, what I think are some of the biggest reasons of why not to get a Cane Corso, or at least why maybe you could wait to get a Cane Corso. Hi, Papa. Yes, my baby. So number one reason I think is the most important reason why not to get a Cane Corso is if you don't have leadership skills for that are necessary to properly train a dominant guardian breed like this one. This is a very powerful dominant protective guardian type breed. And that's up there with other dogs like Rottweiler, German Shepherd is considered that, Belgian Malinois, Boucheron, those are dominant guardian protective type breeds. So then if you don't have experience with one of those breeds, then it's difficult really to understand the challenge you'll be faced with in trying to train a very powerful breed like this. And I just say that as a cautionary note, and I'm sure you've heard it if you've done research and looked at similar YouTube videos like this, like I did. I did research as well, and that's what a lot of people kept saying is make sure you have the leadership skills necessary to train a dog like this. And so with that being said, I didn't have experience with a dominant guardian breed. I had experience with pit bulls, and that was, I guess the closest thing. So with that being said, if you have strong leadership skills with animals, even with people, then you may not have as much of a challenge, say like as I did. I get out of my face. Because, good girl, there you go, good girl. Because, I don't have those natural leadership abilities. Some people, it just comes naturally to them. Of course, I'm in the military, so I had to learn them, and I'm still learning. Other people, they just fit right into that role. So you know yourself better than anyone, and so you can kind of determine that for yourself. But it's not something that you want to experiment with on the fly with a breed like this, because for obvious reasons, if they're not trained correctly, they could develop very dangerous habits. Because it is a dominant guardian breed, by nature, the dog has the tendency to want to be alpha of the pack, or they have a very, even if they're not alpha, so to speak, they are very assertive and very protective. And so at the same time, they're very independent thinkers. This dog is, as opposed to, say, a lab. A lab is kind of like putty in your hands. You can, it's very a benign type of temperament. Whereas, now she's listening very closely. Yes, tell me about the lab. She's listening. She's taking notes. Yeah, so as opposed to, this breed is going to want to think on its own. It's going to want to make decisions on its own. So very, very dangerous situation. Just for example, if you have a stranger coming into your home, you have this breed for the first time, you haven't trained it properly, you know, you can already guess what things can go badly. And I want to tell you a quick story on that note. Again, I'm harping on number one, on this number one reason I'm harping on it because it's the most important in my mind. So just as an example, when I first had Ozzy, I was living in another kind of suburban neighborhood. And I would walk him. He was, say, adolescent phase. It's about his adolescent stage. And so we were walking him. You know, he's already a big boy at this point. He's already at least 100 pounds. Approaching 1 year of age. So I'm walking him. And, I trained him on a leash, and he was doing really well on a leash for me. And I'm walking past this house, this 2-story house that has a German Shepherd inside the house looking out at us from behind the window. So as we pass that house, the German Shepherd is going ballistic. It's barking its head off at Ozzy. And before I could even blink an eye, Ozzy rips free from the leash and runs directly to that window where the German Shepherd was barking from. And all I remember is seeing that glass shatter, that window shatter. And I run to go get Ozzy. And as I'm running, I see the owner of the German Shepherd grabbing a hold of her German Shepherd. So luckily she was already standing right there. And so that, if she wasn't there, that could have been a disaster. But I said, I'm sorry about the window, I'm sorry about this. Let me give you my number so I can help, pay for that window. And she's like, no, that's okay. Just please don't, please try not to walk your dog on this side of the street anymore. So just an example. I had no idea that was going to happen because I did not have the experience to know that, just because this is my first cutting CORSO. And so I really, really had to work on socializing him with other dogs. I had to, switch up my technique when I walked him. I had to do a lot of research on how to deal with a situation like this. What I did was I just, hi baby girl. I would walk him still, but when I would see another dog approaching, I would do different techniques, like quickly turn around, walk the other way, or make him sit. Then I would sit in front of him, stand in front of him, pet him, talk reassuringly to him as the other dog passed. Gradually, I had different techniques, and it worked. And so now I can walk him and have a dog walk past us with no problem. But a lot more work than with another breed of dog that took. So that was number one. The leadership skills and the experience with a dominant guardian breed. Number two, she's looking for a toy. Okay, number two reason why not to get a cane corso would be time. The dog requires a lot of time because, they're called Velcro dogs because they want to be near their pack. They're the guardians of their family and their owner. They tend to gravitate toward one person, so that's their person. They want to be near their person. And so if they're not, they become anxious a little bit. They may develop other characteristics that you wouldn't like, becoming destructive in the home. So it's not the ideal lifestyle for this dog. They're definitely not a type of dog that you should chain up outside and just have as a guard dog. So as compared to, say, let's compare to a guardian livestock or livestock guardian breed. Those types of dogs you can leave outside with their livestock and they're happy. So Cane Corso is kind of the opposite of that. It wants to be near its people. So the time, just being with the dog and the time needed to train the dog effectively, it's going to take a lot of time to train the dog. And so if you don't have that kind of time, it's not going to be ideal. Leadership skills, time. Number 3 is going to be space. Space is a big one because the dog, being a Mastiff breed, it's exceptionally athletic. And so if you don't have the space necessary to give the dog ample room to run and sprint, this dog loves to run. Especially Dolce here, she's a runner. It requires a lot of opportunity to exercise, mental and physical stimulation. So if you don't have that, the dog is, again, same thing's going to happen if you don't have the time to invest with the dog. It's going to develop destructive habits, most likely, and not be as happy, So we have leadership skills, time, space. Number 4 would be money. Time and money, right? One thing that we all wish we had more of. But you don't need to, the dog doesn't cost a fortune, but there is a considerably more cost associated with this breed than with other breeds. And you can just think of, easily count all the factors that would relate to that. And so one would be the vet bill is going to be higher just because the dog's bigger, requires more medication, more flea treatment. All that's going to be expensive. Ozzy requires a double dose, so it's like having a treatment for 2 dogs, put it that way, because the dog weighs almost as much as 2 dogs put together of another breed. It's like you're paying double. It's like you're paying for 2 dogs at the vet. That's I think probably a good way to think of it. And so the vet bill, the food, it's like you're feeding 2 dogs essentially because of the weight. And injuries are going to be more expensive, anesthesia will be more expensive. So all that. So money. Aside from the vet bill and the food, those are the main ones as far as money, but I don't know, toys are more expensive. You can see right here, they, like pit bulls, very much like the bully breeds, the Cane Corso has an extremely strong bite grip. And so when they do get a hold of a chew toy, they can devour it in seconds. I've got a video of Dolce here finding a golf ball. When we just moved into this land, she found a golf ball. She brought it inside, and I swear not less than 5 minutes went by. I looked at her and she had this golf ball like in pieces. Okay, so what else? We have leadership skills. We have time, space, money, and the 5th one, number 5, 5th reason why it may not be a good time or a good idea to get a Cane Corso would be the noise level. The dog has an extremely loud bark, and so if you live in a neighborhood that you're going to have neighbors, then your neighbors are not going to appreciate this dog. So like as an example, where I was living in that suburban neighborhood before I moved, I had neighbors who were dog lovers, and they loved Ozzy, but they would often call me at work and say, "Hey, you know, your dog Ozzy is barking," and they were getting upset. They're like, "We can no longer settle down, Dolce. Can no longer enjoy our outdoors." Ooh. See, he's correcting her, which is good. She's too much. She's too excitable. And she's all up in his face. Get out of my face. Dolce. Settle down. Shh, shh, shh. Settle down. Dolce. Settle down. Yeah. Well, anyways, so yeah, they would tell me, you know, we can no longer enjoy our pool. They had a pool. That's good. That's good. See, she's pushing her limits with him. But I appreciate when he corrects her like that, because she needs to learn. So yeah, so the noise level, and I'm going to add in a couple more. The drool. I just thought of that as she's drinking her water from her water bowl. Look at how dirty this is. See this water bowl? I gotta change these twice a day because they have. It's okay, Papa. Because they drool so much that they don't always. I shouldn't say they don't always drool. But when they drool, it's usually like if they're running outside, they're hot, or if they've eaten a meal, or if they're looking at something they want to eat, they'll drool. And so when they do that, you get this slimy drool in their water bowl, and it becomes dirty very quickly after just one drink. So, and then you'll have drool on the walls because they shake their head, and the drool sticks to the wall. So I'm constantly wiping down walls. If you're a neat freak, or if you like a neat home, it's gonna take more work than with another breed to keep it clean. So, and I've developed, you know, my routines and different methods now that help me just to keep my house clean. For example, I got a Roomba type, you know, robot vacuum. It helps me keep my floors clean. But even then, you know, I've got, look at this, drool. So yeah, so anyway, just I know this video is getting really long, but those are the top 5, and then with a couple more added in there with the drool and the barking and stuff. So well, anyways, you guys, thanks for tuning in. If you've stayed tuned this long. I know that it's a long video, but hope you enjoy, and hope you got some benefit from. And if you think of anything else you'd like me to talk about or do a video of, let me know. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. And hope you all are having a good day. And we'll talk to you later. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, y'all. Bye, bye, bye. See you.